everyone, it's Lindsay from the blog Books for Christian Girls, and today I'm going to be doing 2 tags in one video, so it's a 2-for-1 deal. Yay! So I saw the Books I'll Probably Never Read tag over on Angela's channel, and I'll link her video down below. And then I saw the Not TBR tag over on Celestria's channel, and I'll link that down below, so y'all can go watch their videos, check them out, they're both super sweet, and see what books and authors they would never read. I have been requested to make videos on like books to avoid and terrible books and etc. But I feel like that's really such almost like a negative topic, and I really don't want to dwell on those because honestly the books I wouldn't recommend would be the 1-star books and a good chunk of the 2-star books, because if I rate it 1 or 2 stars it's typically due to the content, and I have the banned book page on BFCG of books we don't recommend, so I've never really felt the need to make a video like this. On these 2 tags though, it's a little different and telling future reading what am I never gonna read kind of thing. Like, been there, done that, not happening again. Can y'all see the difference? There's a slight difference, and I don't know if I'm explaining it well enough. The thing is with making these videos is you don't really know who watches them, and sometimes an author can watch them, and I know that I have dear authors who are watching this now. If you've never received a 1-star or a 2-star from me, please continue watching this video. You are safe. Those who have received a 1-star, well, I can't promise anything. You might just click out. Because I am an honest reviewer, I have come against some challenges with different authors who don't agree with how I reviewed a book or even their book. And the thing is, when I'm sent these books for review, when I buy these books, I have the right to give my honest opinion, and there are books I just didn't like, and typically it's due to the content. These books, authors, genres that I'll be mentioning today in this video for both of these tags, I do plan to explain why I'm not going to read them and why you won't see them reviewed, if ever, or again on my blog. So a couple of these questions are just a little bit similar, but because they're a little different, also I'm going to answer all of these. There's not many of them, so let's get started. So question number 1 of the Books I'll Probably Never Read tag is a really hyped book that you're not interested in reading. And this, out of all of these questions, was the hardest for me to answer because, let's be honest, I read all the hyped books, it feels like, in the Christian market, and typically I'm the one starting the hyping sometimes. I'm guilty of it. But I do have to say there have been some I see being continually hyped up, and I've read previous books by the author and I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm okay, thank you, but no. And for me, that would be Becky Wade books. I enjoy a lot of the plot premises of her books. Like, you have the tough girls that have like the really interesting careers, but they're very kissy. Question number 2, a series you won't be starting or finishing. There's a lot of those, but the first one that came to mind was the Dune series. I read the first book, and I read like the first part of it, and then I skimmed to the end, and I'm like, what in the world? The content in that one was a little, much. Question number 3, a classic that you aren't interested in. That's a lot of classics. Y'all always like, Lindsay, do a favorite classics video. If Nancy Drew doesn't count, then I've read like 2 classics. I'm not a classics person for some reason. But the first one that really came to mind with this, like there's a list that I won't read, but the first one would have to be Jane Eyre. The plot on that one, I don't think, no thank you. I'm okay, thanks, but no. Question 4, any genres you've never read? Well, that one genre, obviously, and then also horror and thriller. I'm okay. And then the last question for the Books I'll Probably Never Read tag, question number 5, a book on your shelves that you're probably actually never going to read. And I feel like I've done really good eliminating books like that on my TBR. My TBR is so much smaller now, I'd like to say, but there's still a couple on this shelf. And one of them is The Door Within by Wayne Thomas Batson. I've been told time and time again by so many of y'all that I need to read this. But do I really? I don't know. Y'all know I'm not a fantasy person, and it's a guy's POV, and those... I don't know about this one, y'all. Y'all keep telling me I need to read it. I don't know about it. If you've read it, and you gave it like a 3 to 4 stars, let me know why it didn't get a 5 stars. Because everyone who gives it a 5 stars tells me I have to read it. So I bought it for $1, and it's been on my shelf for a good, like, probably 3-4 years. And that was the books I'll probably never read tag. This was a fun tag. It's a short tag, but you know, I talk enough to make up for it, so we're good. And again, Angela's original video will be down below, so y'all can go check out her video. Now for the not TBR tag. Question number 1, abandoned pile. What genre are you most likely never going to add to your TBR? So along with those other genres mentioned, no thank you, I probably am also never going to add biblical fiction. This is actually one I get asked often. It's like, Lindsey, why don't you read biblical fiction? That is personally because I grew up reading the Left Behind kids books, and I truly believe because I did not really know Revelations very well before reading that series, it really messed with my view of Revelation in the Bible and the end times and the rapture, etc. So I definitely, I wasn't strong enough in my knowledge of what the Bible actually says that even now I have to think, I'm like, okay, is this actually in the Bible or was this just in that book series? So that's kind of why I have a mixed view now on that series. But yes, that is the main reason why I don't read biblical fiction. And I know I have dear friends who read and maybe even write biblical fiction, but that personally, it just isn't my thing, and I think that's okay. We all have different things we enjoy reading, and ones we're just like, no thank you. And for me, I'm going to have to say no thank you to biblical fiction. Question number 2, to be denied. What book in particular comes to your mind that you would never read? It's going to be a little controversial. Here we go. Again, y'all, these are my opinions. These are books that just automatically y'all need to know are never going to be reviewed on BFCG. Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. I read other books by the author and the content was just insane. And again, Redeeming Love is kind of that, it's a Western, but it's got the story of Hosea apparently in it. And again, that's just going to mess with what I know it from the Bible, and I don't want things to get mixed up like it did with the Revelation and Left Behind kids series. So that's another reason. And also the content. I know there are people who recommend it for high school girls. I personally cannot because I know the content that's in it. So I definitely want to say if it's a book that you're interested in, please definitely look into reviews of it. Even if you don't typically read reviews, read the reviews of that book. I heard a lot of hype for this author, and when I read one of her more recent ones, yeah, so no, that's a book I'm never going to read. Question number 3, Nevermore. Is there an author you don't want to give a chance or a second chance? For a first chance, I couldn't think of an author because oftentimes I will try, if it's in the Christian umbrella, I will typically give them a try. I don't think there's any specifically that I can think of that I'd be like, no thank you. That book maybe, but that author, I've never been against an author before I've read a book by them. Not that I'm against them, you know, just like nixing them from my TBR shelf, I guess. Again, this is a hard video to make, y'all. Is there an author you don't want to give a second chance? Well, of course. We can go back to the previous answer for that. But of course, there's other ones that I'm now cautious of. And again, that's like every author who's ever written a 1-star book or a banned book on BFCG. It's like, yeah, no. Question number 4. Choose 5 books from your TBR pile that you'll know you'll never get to but still have in your pile forever. I actually don't think I have 5. I actually don't think I have 5. Be proud of me, everyone. I don't think I have 5. I did find 2 more, though, in addition to The Door Within. The Prophet by R.J. Larson, and I know looking at this, you're like, Lindsey, it looks like biblical fiction. It looks like a fantasy set in biblical-ish times. I'm honestly not sure about this one. I'm not quite sure why I still have it on because I really don't think I'm ever going to read it. And then this next one is The Undoing of Saint Sylvanus by Beth Moore. It's pretty. When I saw she had a fiction book out, I'm like, okay, cool, I'll read it. And then I saw the size of this thing. How many pages is this? Like 600? Okay, it's less than 500. Regardless, it's a big book. It's a hardback. My mom actually wants to read it, but that's never gonna happen because she doesn't read fiction. And it's thick. I'm like, if this is causing me concern, Mom, you're not gonna read it either. So I hope to one day read this. I have this on my bookshelf since it came out in 2016. I've had it since around that time. Yes, one day I'd love to read this just to see, okay, what exactly is this bit of content I've heard about. So we'll see. Maybe. Out of these three, this has the most likely to be read, but at the same time, it's 500 pages, and 500 pages, that's that. And then the last question, question number 5, is to be TBR, tag some people. I won't officially tag anyone because I never do. I'm awful with doing that. But if anyone would like to do one of these tags or both of them in a 2-for-1 special like I did, please feel free to. I would love to see your video. So yes, I think that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Maybe we agreed on a couple things in this video, or maybe nothing at all. But let's all be respectful and kind to each other, especially in the comments below and on everything. Yes, please. Let's be nice, please. That's it for this video, I guess. I'm Lindsey from the blog booksforchristiangirls.blogspot.com, where I post a new review every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I have a new video on this channel every other Thursday, kind of, and I'm on Instagram every other day. Bye, y'all.